You guys are giving me $100, and then every year I was going to give you 100% interest on that money. Correct? So let's just kind of do a table here of what your money would look like. So you start by giving me $100. So you give me from 0 to 100, you have $100. Then right when a year comes, you now have $200. Then after 2 years, you now have $400. Right? Yes? Okay. So here's the problem with this. All right? On our agreement, I'm only going to give you 100% return on your money once a year passes. That means 365 days have gone by. Is there anything wrong with me giving you back your money at 364 days? No. I mean, I'll just give you the $100 back at 364 days. Correct? So that means you were gone. You did not have that money for a whole year. I basically have to hold on to your money for free because our term was I only was charged once a day, once a year passed. So if I take your money, you give me 100, or let's say, you're like, Mr. McLogan, this is a great deal. You're going to give me 100% interest compounded. I'm going to go to my parents. I'm going to give you $10,000 because I want to make money. So I said, hey, I'll take $10,000. And just imagine every student, they're giving me all this money, right? Because everybody wants to earn a great return. Because you guys agree that's a great return, right? So think about it. Let's say I've taken all this money from you guys. Everybody's giving me money, right? And then, so I have all this money to do. Well, then let's say I figure a way to make some money off it. And then I spend your money. Like, oh, let's go and take some trips, right? And everything else, I'm enjoying your money because I'm making, I put in some other investments that I have, whatever. And then on day 364, I give everybody else their money back. I just had the time of my life. I got to enjoy your money. I got to spend some money. I made some money off of your money, right? And then I gave all your money back. No harm, no foul. Everybody's happy they got their money back. But what's the problem with that situation? You guys gave me your money for a whole year, and basically I got to use it, invest in it, right? And I gave it back to you, right? It's not like I'm frauding you. It's just the fact is you did not have access to your money. You couldn't, like, let's say you gave it $10,000, right? If you had a medical bill, or you couldn't use it because I had your $10,000, right? Or if you wanted to go on a trip, couldn't do it. I had access to your money. If you wanted to invest your money in maybe, let's say, some stocks or whatever else, you couldn't do it because I had your money. And guess what? Because I gave it to you the day before it got compounded, it was basically free for me. Agreed? So that's kind of an issue. Don't you guys see? So that's kind of what this looks like. From here to here, I got your money free. So the problem is, you have these 2 points. Actually, let's go from, you have these 2 points, and this little area, nothing happened with your money. Nothing got earned. I basically just got it. It wasn't until a year, then it's like next year, boom, all right, I'll give you your interest now. Okay? So if a smart person is going to say, well, I'll just do 364, I'll give you your money back. So you start to get, maybe you hear this, you're like, you know what? I don't really want you to pay me all of the 100% at the end of the year. Why don't we break it up? Why don't we break it up into quarters? So in the first quarter, you give me 25% of your 100%. Then in quarter 2, you give me another 25%. And therefore, that way, at least you're guaranteed to earn some money from me, right? I mean, obviously, I can still spend a lot of money in 3 months, but it's going to be a little bit less likely. Would you guys agree? So let's look at what that would be. So now, if we were to break this up into quarterly, what's happening here is, let's see, I can. So now, in quarter 1, now you're earning a little bit of money, right? I paid you out. Not 100%, but 25% of what I would owe you, right? And then, in quarter 2, I pay out a little more. Quarter 3, I guess that's a little bit lower. But what I want you guys to kind of see here, and here's like the kind of goal and kind of the idea of what's happening. What do you guys kind of see is the more times I break up times for compounding, what is that doing to this line? Instead of it being a straight line, right? You don't get paid until the next compound. When I added intervals to break up that compounding, what happened to the line? Huh? Yeah. And if I added more and more, what would it kind of start to resemble? The exponential curve I erased. Wouldn't you guys agree? Like it starts to take form of that curve, right? And that's exactly what we're looking for. We want to be able to calculate this more and more often. So then you say, well, why am I going to ask you for quarterly? Why don't I ask you for monthly? Why don't I get a check every single month, right? Because who calculates your interest on a monthly basis? Cars, basically, banks, loans for mortgages, right? And then you say, well, you know what? Ms. McLogan, I'm not giving you my money for a month. I want my calculated interest every single day. You know who does that every single day? Who? Credit cards. Credit cards. Credit cards calculate that daily balance every single day. They're calculating that interest. Okay? So, but my point that I'm trying to get for you guys is the more times it's calculated, right? No. It's kind of, we'll talk about that in the losing money section. But the point is, what I want you guys to look at is, and it's not really calculated every day, it's a little bit more complicated, the credit card ones, than a situation. But my point is, doesn't it make sense if you guys are going to give me your money, the more times it's calculated, the more you're going to be keeping your, like you're going to get that money, like you're kind of reserved with that. And also, you are going to make more money. But we're going to talk about that next class period. So the more it's compounded, you actually do make more money, which we're going to talk about more next class period. But before we get to that, I'm actually want to give you guys a real life scenario.